Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friends of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. I am your host, Brad Whipple, and happy Remembering Resistance Day, everybody.
Yay!
Who's that voice on the other end of the microphone?
It's me.
It's Sarah Haas.
It's me.
Welcome.
Thank you. I am so thrilled for it to finally be Remembering Resistance Day, and for all of you listeners to finally be getting to hear all of the work that we did to make this come to life on our end. And we're so thrilled that you are joining in with us as listeners, as fans of Resistance, and as folks who are also partaking in Remembering Resistance Day. So thank you so much for joining us today and making this a success.
Yes, today is a day to remember the show that came and went all too soon, but we want to keep the conversation and the legacy of this series and these characters alive as part of Bibo's Book Report, which is our Star Wars Resistance focused series that we've been doing for the last year. And it's a podcast series, an audio format about a TV show that has absolutely nothing to do with books. And that's the fun in it. Star Wars is weird. Keep it weird. Mm-hmm. Now we are bringing you our interview today that is so special. Our guest has prior credits including Silicon Valley, DuckTales, The Internship, Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars The Clone Wars, The Big Bang Theory, and Star Wars Resistance. And Sarah, who did our guest play on Star Wars Resistance?
I never thought that I would see the day where I get to say this, but our guest played Neeku Vozo on Star Wars Resistance, the man himself, Josh Brener.
Without further ado, Sarah, I have nothing else to say. I'm just so excited for everybody to finally hear this interview that we've so desperately many times posted prayer circle tweets on Twitter with the candles.
Yeah.
So apparently those work.
Yeah. So if you need something to go right in your world, post a prayer circle.
Prayer circle.
On Twitter.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. So Sarah, without further ado, let's get right to our interview with Josh Brener, who plays Neeku Vozo on Star Wars Resistance.
Long-range scanners are back online, Captain Doza.
Well done, Neeku.
Oh, thank you, Captain. Here, Kaz, allow me.
Dangerous material marked by oxygen.
What is this? Someone is trying to contact us.
The First Order found me and attacked my ship. My oxygen levels are dangerously low. Life support won't last long. I'm transmitting coordinates of my current location.
A distress call. We have to help.
No, hold on. That could be a trap.
Well, that's true, but what if it's not?
Given our location, another ship passing by would be very unlikely. Statistically speaking, she will die out there.
It could be risky.
I'll go. And Neeku can stay and keep fixing until I get back.
Of course. I do not need to sleep.
Be quick about it. We need you back here right away.
And do yourself a favor and take someone who can use a blaster.
Other than me? What? I've been practicing. All right, fine.
Good luck! Try not to disintegrate anyone!
Hello, Star Wars Resistance fans, and welcome to Bibo's Book Report as part of Remembering Resistance Day. We are so happy and thrilled you're joining us on the show today because we have a very special guest. You might have seen his character on the cover art for this series. We are so excited to welcome Josh Brener, who plays Neeku on Star Wars Resistance. Josh, thank you so much for joining the show today.
Oh man, thank you guys for talking Resistance. My heart grew 3 sizes when I heard about Resistance Day. So thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are here to spread the love, and I've had a couple of friends message me on my Instagram and be like, "This day sounds really cool, but I'm not quite sure what this thing is." And I was like, "It's a show, and it's amazing, and you should definitely go and watch it, and then join us on Resistance Day and Remembering Resistance, and join in all the fun because it brings the world such joy." So
Here. Oh man, couldn't agree more. It is truly one of the things in my life that makes me smile regardless of what else is happening. And what better thing for 2020 than something like that.
Exactly.
It's been such a long, tough year for so many people, but you're so right. Resistance is one of those really bright spots for a lot of Star Wars fans. We get so much joy from all these characters, and it was so sad to see the show come and go so quickly. But how has it kind of felt looking back on everything and getting to wrap that show this year and just seeing all the love for it continue? Like, what's that like to be a part of something so special?
It is so bittersweet. It's like it's a pretty classic case of you don't know what you got till it's gone. I mean, I absolutely loved every time I got to go in and record for the show, every time I got a script in my inbox. Like, I did love every second, but I just thought we had more time, and I felt like I was like settling in and really like just as a group, like vibing so much and having such a great time, and like feeling like there was so much ahead, that it's always sad because you never know with these things how much time you have, so you really gotta seize your Star Wars day. But yeah, so grateful to have been a part of something that I truly am a fan of, in addition to being lucky enough to work on. And like I said, it really so much of pop culture now is, I think we're all very excited about things that are a little darker and a little moodier and a little more the worst of people. That's kind of like anti-heroes and stuff like that. And I just love that this show is upbeat and positive and playful and fun, and also still manages to have some incredibly great story arcs and character work, and seeing a different corner of the galaxy. So that is a very long-winded way of saying I'm sad that we don't get to keep doing it, but so proud to have been a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to agree on the joy and the levity of this show. It really just always makes me smile, no matter what episode I decide to click on and rewatch. But jumping back kind of to your first experiences with Star Wars, what was your first experience with Star Wars, and how has it shaped your life, or how has it shaped your life in some way?
I don't know a life before Star Wars was a part of it. Like I don't remember anything before. No, like my brothers introduced me to A New Hope and the original trilogy. I mean, it has just been a fact of my life. I mean, my brothers and I tend to speak to each other in quotes from movies and TV shows, and Star Wars has just been a part of the fabric of our communication with each other. And then this may be a huge surprise to those listening at home, but I'm a bit of a nerd, and have spent my life surrounded by total nerds. And after my brothers, it was my nerdy friends and I going to see the prequels together at midnight screenings, and then now out in LA, I have a big dorky group of friends that are big Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars. Like that is our common shared language. And yeah, I mean, it is just, and it's been surreal. Like I got to go to the premiere of episode 9. So like it's been an insane thing to get to be a part of something that has meant so much to me, and that I'm just such a huge fan of.
Well, I can tell you're in great company, because Sarah and I are huge dorks. So you're in a good place. I'm a former Quidditch player, so when I saw you in the internship play Quidditch, and now I'm here talking to you, it's kind of like a full circle thing almost. So we've really come, and we're peaking here. So
that was by the way, thank you for referencing that, because that is like one of the high points in my life that I never get to talk about. We played, so before we shot that stuff, that Quidditch sequence for the internship, we got to just like play a couple scrimmages, and I broke my finger grabbing the golden snitch, and it is one of, like, I still think about that as like one of the crowning achievements of my life. So were you a seeker,
it's a big deal.
Chaser?
I
was
was a chaser.
You're a chaser.
So,
nice.
Yeah. So I got tackled a lot, and it always hurts. So I'm with you there. It's tough. I was watching one of your interviews from a Silicon Valley premiere, and you told the reporter, like, dorks are taking over the world, right? And I totally relate to that. I think pop culture has changed so much, right? Where back in the day, it was kind of not really the thing that everybody did, be a dork, be super passionate about something. It was almost like you're kind of weird if you're like that, or you're different.
Totally.
And you go on to study creative writing and theater at Harvard, and you're the president of the Hasty Pudding theatrical group, which you're doing some crazy things as a part of that, but it's such an esteemed organization across the world. How did you really kind of find yourself in some of those activities and really just kind of embrace your inner confidence and kind of gain that light or that spark you needed to start your Hollywood career?
First of all, thanks for the research. Very, very well done, sir. Hasty pudding, shout out, amazing.
Yeah.
As far as the inner confidence, I'm still looking for it. I hope to find it one of these days. But I was really lucky that growing up, I just had this incredible theater teacher who turned into a mentor, who turned into a close friend, which I think is a story for a lot of people who go into the arts. But a guy named Larry Dockslager, who is still teaching theater students, just showed me the world, and it made it fun and exciting, and exposed me to like the Marx Brothers and all sorts of like things that I never would have known about as a kid, playing baseball in Texas. And then it was just all I wanted to do, just theater throughout high school and college. And then I sort of always thought I would go to New York and pursue theater. That was always kind of the plan. But my older brother, lived out in LA, and he was like, just come here. And so I got in the old 92 Camry, drove from Boston to LA, and that's sort of been it. Did all the odd jobs, from bartendering, excellent. I was a hell of a bartenderer, from bartending and waiting tables to tutoring and teaching acting class and all that kind of stuff. And and then I think it's a lot of luck after that, and you just gotta keep banging your head against the wall until hopefully something sticks.
It's part of the hustle.
Yeah.
I think I was afraid of that. I was nearly a theater major, and then I was like, this is a little scary. It's a little uncertain.
It's a terrible idea. It's not something that you should do. The first agent I ever had was a friend, and before we started working together, he said, take some time. If there's literally anything in the world that you could do that would make you happy besides this, do that other thing. And if not, come back and we'll talk. So that's kind of important advice. But having said that, I feel pretty lucky that I didn't do that. So because I wouldn't be talking to you guys, and I'm so happy to be talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're happy to.
So you talk a little bit about luck, and what's the role that you feel got your acting career going, and did you ever see yourself in voice acting as well?
Oh man, voice acting has been like a total surprise that I never saw coming. But if like 11-year-old Josh could have, like, he would have been like, why are you wasting your time in front of the camera? Let's just get straight to voice acting. Because now I sort of find myself agreeing with him. It is the most fun. It is the best people. It is I don't know. It's just been like such a cool gift. And it was sort of a random thing. I'd done mostly TV stuff. I was on a TV show called Glory Days, was my first real job, and I don't know that anyone ever saw Glory Days, but it holds a special place in my heart. And then after that, it was just like a TV role here, a TV role there, and then really the internship was kind of a game changer, because that kind of led to Silicon Valley, and Silicon Valley kind of led to all the voice stuff. But whenever you talk to people who are like, how does it happen? If it doesn't, it's like a bunch of random stuff that randomly sticks together, and you never know what happened in 2009 that led to something happening in 2017. But specifically, I should say this for sure. So doing the internship led directly to doing voices on Star Wars, because I met Tia Sircar on the internship, and we became really good buds, and she knew what a Star Wars dork I was. And when she was doing Rebels, she sort of, I think, incessantly was bothering Dave Filoni and being like, you got to have my dork friend Josh come on and do a voice. You got to have my and just kept like so sweetly like kept on pushing for me, and eventually I got like he gave me like 3 lines, maybe less than that, maybe 2 lines on an episode of Rebels, and which led to which led to like a little bit on Clone Wars. So I just got to be brought in the family because like not mostly 100% because of Tia.
You're one of the few 3-timers in Star Wars animation. Like that's a proud badge you should be wearing. I was so surprised to see your name pop up in the credits during that one Clone Wars episode this year, and I was like, that sounds a lot like Josh and kind of Neeku in a way. I was like, are they long lost relatives of Neeku?
No, that's just because I have no ability to actually transform my voice.
But yeah, it must be so surreal though to finally go from watching Star Wars with your brothers growing up to now kind of leaving your mark on the universe, especially with a character like Neeku. So speaking of Neeku, what were your expectations heading into the show with this character, and how did that understanding of who Neeku was change as you finally got into that recording booth and you're with this like really great cast of people?
You know, it was intimidating, of course. Like I remember the first day we all sort of were gathered together at the studio to do our first record, and there was like people like some people were like, "Oh man, I've been trying to get into Star Wars for so long. This is like a dream come true. Like me and my dad have been wanting this forever." And which made me feel like a little like I felt guilty because like Tia just kind of handed it to me, like, and then and you know, you don't really know what it is. They tell you so little. Like you see Lucasfilm, and that's sort of all you know when you're auditioning for stuff, because like everything is sort of vague and fictionalized. You don't really know what the story is going to be. You don't know what time period you're going to be in. So just the excitement of all that stuff. But then, yeah, like you get into one of the cool things about recording Star Wars shows is that you do it as a group. So you actually get to all be in the room together, which is not always the case. A lot of times it's just you doing your lines, and which is fine. But this is such a cool thing. But some of the people in this cast are like a murderer's row of really talented, amazing voice actors that you've probably heard thousands of times and had no idea, because they unlike me can do anything with their voices and sound totally different in a million different characters. And sometimes I would just like zone out because I'd be so blown away by what like D Baker was doing that I would be like, I what do I speak now? What am I can't do. It was exciting and intimidating and nerve-wracking. In terms of the character specifically, I do remember being like early on, like, oh God, is Neeku Jar Jar? And we all kind of laughed about it, but like, I'm very lucky that because Resistance is such a happy, positive place, it doesn't like have that strange juxtaposition that I think sometimes you have with comic relief. So I just like sort of went for it, and honestly, like it led me, because like I said, like it would just make me happy, like no matter what kind of mood I was in coming into the booth. Like you put that guy on, and all of a sudden, you know, you can't help but have a positive outlook and a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Was that long-winded enough? Can you tell it's quarantine and I haven't talked to many people? I'm like so desperate to. I'm just like,
listen, we got all night. We'll host you for hours if you'd like.
But also, same. We're all in this time, and just like let's rewatch these 4 episodes of Resistance like 8 times, and we can just talk for hours about it. This is a problem for us.
I'm with you. I just rewatched some episodes, and it really like. Again, bittersweet, but it's so nice to be in that world for a while.
Yeah, for me, the best characters in Star Wars are the good-hearted engineers. We see them in live action with characters like Rose Tico, who's just
totally,
you know, she's just so good and kind and cares for others. And we also see them in animation with Neeku. I mean, he just is so for others and so, you know, so empathetic and sees people complexly. And so what stands out to you about this type of character, and especially with Neeku in particular.
Totally agree, by the way. Like, we talk about, the nerds inheriting the earth, and there is something so cool in Star Wars that, like, I mean, also Luke, also Rey, like they have tech skills. They're like, they're engineers, they're badasses. And that's something that I've always been really excited about. My wife and I used to tutor kids at this STEM after school program that really focused on coding and engineering. And like looking at stuff like Star Wars, I think is such a great influence on kids to be like, no. The cool thing is like the guy who can like get the generator started again so that we can like make the jump to hyperspeed, so very, very much agree with you on that front. And yeah, character wise, I think one of the things that I so appreciate about Neeku is that he sees the good in everyone, like to a fault, right? Like blindly just thinks that people are good and genuine and honest and truthful, which again, not to get too 2020, it's just like so refreshing that we can like, it's possible that we could like trust each other and trust that others have the best of intentions and trust that people do lead from the heart and with friendship and mutual affection. And again, like it seems naive and it seems dopey, but that's cynical and sad. So maybe it's good to be naive and dopey every now and then.
Neeku is truly, like Sarah said, the good-hearted engineer, and he really does show that you don't have to have force powers. You don't have to be an ace pilot. Your work can be just as meaningful even if you're in the background or you're in the underbelly of a ship. One of my favorite parts of season 2 was when he got the coaxium implanted in the Colossus, and they went to hyperspace, and they only survived because of Neeku. And I was like, that's his like one of his heroic moments. But Sarah and I kind of looked at the two quintessential episodes of Neeku as we see them. So there's Bibo, and then there's the engineer. So we wanted to kind of talk to you about both those episodes because they truly are like the staple of this character. So Bibo, I think that episode really speaks to just his love for this slimy little stinky character. He gives his whole heart to Bibo immediately, and he's like basically willing to sacrifice everything for him, but he ultimately has to part ways no matter how much he loves Bibo. What was it like for you going through with Neeku on this journey to see kind of how everybody is initially against him, wants him to get rid of this pet, ends up supporting him, and like kind of how does that speak to the impact this character has on the Team Colossus?
Yeah, by the way, so excited that we're going to talk those two episodes because they are ones close to my heart.
Got the official Josh stamp of approval. Love it.
Oh man. Yeah, I haven't seen Bibo in a while. I might have to rewatch the Bibo episode. But my wife and I are animal people, so this was sort of an easy one to feel along with. It's not like one of those situations where you're like, how do I like relate to that? No, like falling in love with a puppy, like not a problem. We're dog rescue people and we're vegetarians and like all about animals, and that relationship with someone who especially is like is not like, it's kind of like the pup that nobody wants, right? It's like you're right, it's like slimy and it's not, but the connection is so endearing. I think it's such a perfect episode just because Nico does fall so hard for Bibo, and but is such a feeler that he knows that he can't, if you love something you got to set it free.
Yeah, and I think with this episode, you can really, really dig into it if you want to and say, Neeku has this moral code of like radical empathy and true care for others, and he's willing to like really stand up for his beliefs and not let anybody knock him down or attempt to convince him otherwise about his love for something or his care. And it's really cool, I think, in that episode to see Team Fireball come around him and say, you know what? We were wrong on this one. Let's come around and support him. Let's make sure that he's safe, especially, when Bibo's mother is coming and she's, really menacing and very scary. And but then, Neeku convinces Kaz to stop firing on everybody, and everybody comes together to support him, and I love that.
Yeah, that that is the thing that the writers Brendan did such a good job with. Like Neeku can be, you can see him as like a little trifling or a little silly or whatever, but his conviction, and when his heart is set on something, not only are you not going to you're not going to change his mind, but you can't help but rally around him. And I think that's such a testament to the way they built the character, that his fierce loyalty and his just like love is infectious, and you can't help but being on his side, even if you think he's being crazy and unrealistic and naive. You just can't help yourself, because he's just one of a kind. He's a good guy.
In a way, he's almost he's like Jedi-esque, because the Jedi are kind of like peacekeepers, and they try to protect all life. And Neeku is exactly that. He has such a respect for every life, no matter good, bad. He tells Tam, it's okay. We all make mistakes. Some are more cataclysmic than others, but that's okay, And
Yeah,
he really cares for the Shell folk. Like, he is just he's all about life, and he exudes it. And I think that's why anybody can just watch this character and be completely blown away by his behavior and his attitudes, and it's contagious in a way.
Well, I look forward to seeing the spin-off series about Neeku becoming force sensitive and going into training.
Sign me.
I would love
it.
I'm in.
He's already got the moral code. Now he just needs to learn the Force. We're good. We're almost there.
Yeah, that's the easy part. That's the
We're
easy
halfway
part.
there.
There is no risk of Neeku going to the dark side. That's not not something you have to worry about.
Yeah.
I think one of the wonderful things about Resistance is the characters, and it's the core thing that makes me so sad that it only got 2 seasons, because I could watch spin-off shows featuring every single character.
Flix and Orca.
Team Colossus.
Yes, please.
Literally every single one of them has such a full and rich story. And in The Engineer, we learn that Neeku comes from a long line of bantha herders, and that his parents, knew that he was a little different, and they sold the prized bantha calf in order for him to be able to go to school and to learn his trade and to be fantastic at it. And he's without a doubt exceptional, not only in his family but within the galaxy. And this is the first time within the series that we really get to see Neeku open up about himself. And I think it's a testament to the writers for writing such a touching backstory for him. But what impact do you think that him being able to talk about himself in this episode had on the growth of his character? And is there anything about this part of the story that resonates in your life that was able to form connection there?
Great question. So the first thing I'll say is that and most importantly, the engineer is actually played by my real life wife, Meghan Falcone. So getting to, which, like, of all of there are so many warm fuzzy things that I feel about Resistance, and this is maybe number one, because getting to work together is so special. Getting to work together on Star Wars was like mind-blowingly special. But in terms of having those moments to like open up as the character and not just be a comic relief, but have some emotional resonance, it was a lot easier to do that when I got to just be talking with Meghan, which was a really cool thing. And there was actually I'm a little hazy on this, but I believe there was more to that scene in the original version, where they connected even more deeply, and you heard a little bit more about Neeku's past and his family, and about going to like basically engineering school before finding his way here, and how much was sacrificed, like that his parents really didn't understand, that what he was interested in made no sense to them, and that they would never choose that life, but because, and again, it's that you have to imagine that it's just Neeku being so enthusiastic and so sure of what his destiny is, that his parents couldn't help but say, okay, we're on board. Which I mean, I certainly can relate to that. I have unbelievably supportive parents. I know a lot of people who go into this line of work, their parents say, good luck, don't call, you're on your own. And that was not my that was not my experience. I was really lucky that my parents sent me to theater classes, theater summer camp, like everything. Yeah, I can definitely relate to Neeku in that he had a passion that he wanted to explore, and his family said, go do it. But yeah, headline being getting to have that that deeper exploration into the character alongside Meghan, who also I think gives a beautiful performance talking about this traumatic experience with pirates as a kid. It was just all really special to get to do all of that, and it's one of the many things I'm grateful for to Resistance.
I just want to highlight that Meghan did a wonderful job as Nina. That episode is, I will speak for both Brad and I when I say this, one of our favorites, favorites.
Oh, that's so great to hear.
Of both seasons. And immediately when Nina gets on the scene, she is just so warm and so caring, and that's what makes that twist in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no,
yeah.
no, how could she go this way? But yeah, she does a wonderful job, and
I will
really
yell
elevates.
I'll yell out the door and tell her.
It really elevates, I think, the whole show. So
yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I know you and Meghan are writing partners in some sense. Did you guys, like, at any point during the process of filming that episode, did you get to contribute more to like the script, or get to like any kind of lend your voices, knowing you're going to be working off each other as a true married couple coming into the show, playing this sort of romanticism between Neeku and Nina?
Well, I'm certain that we, after the fact, pitched a number of storylines where Nina would come back. I can almost guarantee we did that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Star Wars, the Star Wars records are so interesting because there's definitely room to play and experiment with the dialogue. But it's also just written so well. Once again, shout out to Brendan for just so many great scripts, and his whole staff. And there's so much story to pack in and so much plot to pack in that you're mostly going off of what's there. Knowing us, we probably during a tea break started going back and forth about what if it was like this, what if it was like that, what if it was like that. But we probably also then went back and just were good soldiers and did did exactly what was scripted. But yeah, we do write together, and that's how we've spent most of the last 5 months, just staring at laptops across the room from each other. So yeah,
I think the great thing about the show too is we've heard so much, especially about Mary Elizabeth McGlynn and Justin Ridge being incredible voice directors and helping out to really find your voice for these characters. And I think Neeku especially has such a distinct voice. It's like everything he says, no matter how sad he is, how angry he is, there's always like this undertone of, like you said, positivity and enthusiasm that's just unparalleled by anybody else. One of my favorite lines is when Kaz first joins the Colossus and Poe Dameron says, "This is Kaz. He's going to be hanging out around here for a while." And Neeku asks, "For what exactly will he be hanging?" And it's just so innocently asked. And it only works because of the tone and the inflections of the voice. Like, working with those two people, Mary and Justin, like, what was it like to really find that voice and capture all those qualities for Neeku?
Oh man, I'm so glad that you bring them up, because I would be remiss not to give full credit to those guys for being, great, amazing voice directors, amazing creative collaborators, but also just like kind, supportive, like people who want everyone to do a great job, don't ever get frustrated, don't ever I don't know, like the show that you see, I think is in terms of heart and soul very similar to the people that are behind it, like Justin and Mary and Brennan. And yeah, like we were given so much it's hard to explain, like to be given so much freedom to sort of try things and explore and find the characters, and also given so much like guidance and great ideas, so that it really did feel like you were always like adding on to each other, you know, like I came in with this, what about this, that becomes that, and then that's what you end up seeing, which are these with Neeku especially, sometimes like strange unexpected things, but truly the result of a great collaborative environment, and not just from the top, but also like the other actors who are like totally down to like try different things because you get to play off of each other. So just like just the best possible creative environment you could hope for, and definitely yeah, from a voice perspective, led by Justin and Mary, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think all of the characters are awesome and important, but the core throughout kind of both seasons is that team fireball. Kaz, Tam, Yeager, and Neeku. They all have, you know, such independent and developed personalities, but are all a part of this team and attempting to get the ship working, you know, a part of the kind of adjacent to the Aces and all of this. And what was it like to develop that on-screen relationship and in the booth with the likes of Scott Lawrence and Christopher Sean and Susan McGrath, and I mean, of course, all of the other wonderful cast members.
Everyone's just nice and great. Like, I know that it sounds like I'm being like just saying the party, but like it's so rare. It's so rare that like not only is everyone like really wonderful to work with, but they're happy to be there. Nobody's like checking the clock. Like it's all where we wanted to be. Like, and when a record was over, like we just like linger because we don't want to go home. Like it's so fun to be there. And yeah, like I said before, like one of the hardest things was to not just sort of be a fan, and watch Scott and watch Chris and watch Susie, especially when uh when I'll use character names, when Kaz and Tam have this incredible arc together that like I found to be like a really amazing Star Wars arc, that you lose Tam and you have this estrangement, and there's a father-daughter relationship, and there's a will they won't they relationship, and all of these complex things happening on opposite sides, and again, like I just was a fan watching, just getting to be a part of that. But all of those human beings that you mentioned, it was just like just getting to see them every week or two was the best. And again, you don't know what you got till it's gone, because like I miss Resistance. I also miss just like seeing those people all the time. Now I miss seeing any people all the time. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I really we were very lucky to have such an amazing bunch, and that's always how it is, I think, with these shows. My limited experience on Rebels and Clone Wars, it's top down, it's Dave Filoni, it's Justin Ridge, it's Athena, it's this and Josh, this crew of people that are just like good souls who are Star Wars nerds and just want to be Star Wars nerds together.
Yeah, and one thing too, I think is kind of unique to your prior experiences. You know, you were on Silicon Valley for almost 7 years. I'm a huge Silicon Valley fan. Big Head is just so funny. The potato cannon is ridiculous. Love it. Being a part of that family, especially, you know, that's kind of a different sort of family, right? Because you're on set. Everything that you do is on the camera. And with the voice acting, now being a part of the Resistance family for 2 or 3 years, like how does that change your approach, your ability to build a relationship with other people? Like what is that atmosphere? How does the atmosphere differ between such two different things, where it's a live action on set or in a recording booth, where you can be as noodly as you want to you know, get that across for Neeku or for Kaz or for anybody that you're working with?
Oh man, great question. Yeah, they're totally different beasts. Because while a record might just be a couple hours, you know, once a week, once every couple of weeks, it's all year round. You're always seeing each other. You're always recording. You're always coming in to do pickups. Like you really do. and you're always coming to the same place, right? Like it's like pretty close to my house, so like it's like it does feel like home, and you're all together in the same place every single time. It's a little bit more like going to the office and back. So you do like really foster this like sort of ongoing familial feel. Whereas with like a TV show, and certainly one that's only like, 8-10 episodes a season, you'll spend really long days together. But it's in a pretty condensed period. We would shoot Silicon Valley maybe October to January, something like that. So it's oddly like a small portion of the year, even though it's like the main thing that you're doing in a given year. So it's like short bursts of intense time versus like more like spread out expanses of time where you're seeing each other regularly. So it is interesting to think how the relationships kind of form differently. But it's a different thing for sure.
It really comes off too, because I watched the Resistance panel from Celebration last year, and everybody on that stage just felt so united, so like they had such good rapport with each other. It's real. I really truly mean, like, it's unlike anything I've seen in some ways. Like, it just really seemed like everybody's having such a good time, and they're in Star Wars, and they're loving every second of it, and they're definitely not taking it for granted. And that's just really special, because you don't find that too often. I think Star Wars, that this franchise is kind of unique in that way. It's truly like a whole different beast. Like, once you're in it, you're in it. You're a part of that family, and I imagine that's a good feeling for you to know that now.
Oh man, again, feel so lucky, and you're totally right. I think because we're all such fans to begin with, it just makes it like exciting to be there. Everybody's being their best selves because they're the most happy when they're there. And also, I think because so many of us are fans since we were kids, there is still this feeling of like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I get to do this. This is so cool. And there is like a little bit of that childlike wonder. Megan makes fun of me because when we went to the episode 9 premiere, I like stopped talking, and she was like, what is going on with you? Are you okay? Are you having a bad time? And I would just sort of like look around at everything, and like and the most we could figure out was that it's like the same as like when a 4-year-old goes to Disney for the first time, and it's like it's too much for them. You know what I mean? Like they're like shaking a little bit because it's and like you're like, are you hurt? Are you upset? Are you sick? But it's like, no, I like it was just overwhelming emotion, and like just feelings that like I truly haven't felt since I was like 9. And that's that like to get to be a part of that is nuts.
Well, even though your letter to JJ didn't result in a cameo, at least you got to the premiere. That's
oh no, I can't believe I said that out loud. Oh man.
I think Anthony Carboni was the right person to say that too, though.
I can't believe I said that out loud. Yeah, I did write JJ like in hindsight the most mortifying, like embarrassing fanboy letter that I just hope never got to him. And I oh god, yeah, I will occasionally like going to sleep at night just like eyes bolt open and go like, oh god, what was I thinking? Why did I do that?
Oh, I know that feeling.
But again, like that's how much like you do irrational things because of how much you love Star Wars. Like that is an undeniably crazy thing to have done.
Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah, I think that's a feeling that I would say that a lot of Star Wars fans do have in some way or another, and that feeling of being at the premiere and just being starstruck or shocked. I felt the same way when I went to Star Wars Celebration last year, and that was my first time attending. It's where Brad and I met, and just a wild feeling to walk into like a convention hall and every single booth is for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And you're just like, there's so many things here. Everybody's in gorgeous cosplays. Like, I want to take pictures with everybody. And I'm like, wow, I feel so small, but also like really good about feeling just being a small piece of this like very big event and the very big puzzle. So yeah, Star Wars. It's really that thing.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I blacked out during all of my photo ops. I was just like in and I was out and I was like, what happened? What's going on?
It is that thing. It is it taps into all the things that cannot be understood about childhood and inner child, and it just hits all those pressure points. And yeah, I feel you on that. And then the celebration is such a cool thing. Like I missed celebration, so I have not gotten to experience a celebration, but just like the con thing in general and the Star Wars thing in general, like everyone's just so happy. Like it just gives you faith in humanity, because we're all like, it is so cool the way it brings people together and makes people feel good. And yeah, we could use more of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it stinks. Star Wars Celebration this year would have been in a couple weeks from now.
Yeah.
But there's always the next one, and there'll always be a time when we'll all come together again and be able to join in on the things that we all love together and get to celebrate that in a large way. So I have hope for those times, and I think I'm gonna bring it back to Resistance. It shows like Resistance that allow me to hold out that hope and be like even more excited to chat about those things and talk about those things with my friends in real life once we get to those days. So
amen. Well said. I feel like the next celebration, whenever it may be, will be one of the most celebratory of the celebrations, because people are going to need it.
Yeah, I'd be like, I forgot how to hug somebody. Oh my God, it's so great. Oh my gosh. Speaking of smiling and speaking of hugging, Neeku is he's very emotional. He likes to hug a lot of people. There's so many moments where he just hugs Kaz and squeezes him tight, and Kaz does the noodle thing where his arms kind of, fly out to the sides and he's like a cartoon, And, we want to know for you, were any of Neeku's like funnier moments and just some of the great one-liners he had, did you ever get to ad-lib some of those? Was most of it scripted? What could you really bring into that recording booth and just have fun with?
Two quick ones come to mind. One is and I cannot remember the episode or episodes, I think it maybe comes back, is his I like food runner. And Mary Elizabeth had me say I like food probably 600 times. And at first I think it was because she wanted it to get to be just so, and after that I think it was just her messing with me, because I was just saying I like food over and over and over and over and over again. But yes, so much credit to the writers, because so much of his just adorable comic weirdness was them, but they were also really kind to let me mess around a fair bit. And one of my favorite souvenirs from my Resistance time is a page in, I think if not the last episode, the second to last episode, where just in the middle of the dialogue, there's a Neeku line, and instead of a line being there, there's just like a bracketed instruction that just says J. Brener Improv. And yes, that is the correct that is the exact gesture I had, putting my hand over my heart. It was such a like vote of confidence and like support of like, we trust you, Josh, to like have fun. And like I of course then like came up with too much stuff that didn't make any sense and never would ever make it into the show, but it felt like such a nice validation that I hadn't been bothering everybody for 2 years while I while I riffed on the script. But again, that's a total tribute to the writers, that what was there was so rich and so fun and so funny that I couldn't help myself but tinker and mess around a little bit with some of the stuff that was already there.
Yeah, and I will say Neeku also makes a lot of exaggerated noises to, his laughter, his crying. Fantastic. Just so much, just so much fun to listen to, and it really is always a joy to listen to him and these funny lines. I like food is there. I don't know if you know this, but there is a loop on YouTube. Somebody has made it. And it is the I like food, kind of like food for 10 minutes.
Oh, man.
And I will occasionally just send it to Brad and I'll be like, hey,
just out of nowhere.
having a down day? Here's I like food. You know?
Oh man, that
Because
makes
who
me
doesn't?
so happy. I did not know about that. I will be visiting that momentarily.
Yeah, if you need to find
very
time to
impressive.
fill during COVID and quarantine, that's the way to do it. Just
Yeah.
that on repeat. It's my ringtone now, honestly. I should make it my ringtone.
That's great.
I think to close kind of our conversation on Neeku, you know, he's so selfless. He values his friends and the team that he's a part of. He's very loyal and he wants to help others. And you know, what do you hope Neeku's legacy is, whether it be those things or other facets of Neeku, is for Star Wars fans, both old and new fans alike?
Yeah, you know, Megan and I were just talking about Star Wars, I mean, we're always talking about Star Wars, but we were having a conversation about just like what the galaxy is about, like what the stories of Star Wars are about. And Megan as a writer is like brilliant with sort of story and macro concepts, and I never see things, but she just said, like, sort of offhandedly, well, like, you know, like Star Wars is just about overcome anything. And that is of course so true and so like so simply obvious, but hearing it said that way I thought was like really cool. And Neeku, I think, is so quintessentially that, like, fierce loyalty and support of your friends and the people you care about is all that matters. It's the most important thing, and it will get you through anything. So that's my Neeku heart and soul.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great way to put it about, you know, friendship and about the power of community and the individuals within a community.
And appropriately enough, we're here on Friends of the Force, so we really value friendship and loyalty in the Star Wars universe, and I think that's why Neeku is one of our favorites. So, Josh, to wrap up the show, we'd like to put you through a round of rapid-fire questions. It's not a pop quiz, but just something to send us off and get to know you a little extra better. So our first question is, what is your favorite Star Wars film, or what is the one that has had the most impact on you?
You know, like, I think like the answer is supposed to be Empire, and it probably is Empire, but honestly lately I've just been so Return of the Jedi. I can't stop thinking about Return of the Jedi these days. Was also, I just saw, you guys will know much more about this than I will, but that there's going to be a Rogue One series, and I just saw that my friend Adria is going to be in it, which I'm really excited about. So I'm also thinking about Rogue One these days. Sorry. Oh God, these are supposed to be rapid fire, and I just like talk for 5 minutes. Okay, wait, start again, and I can have a short answer. Start again. Let's rapid fire.
That's how it usually goes, to be honest. But so you're already on pace here.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, I
name 6 movies.
No, I will say that like Empire is not my answer. I'm a big fan of The Last Jedi, so it's totally okay. And I'm also very excited about that Cassian series. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So what's your favorite memory from, you know, on set or the voice booth of Resistance, whether it be, you know, seeing something on the screen or, you know, a moment that you had with the other cast members? Do you have a favorite moment?
I'm just going, there were too many, truly too many, but my head immediately went to, must be when we were recording our last episode, maybe. Sumali brought these cakes. Has anyone told you about these cakes?
No.
One was like a dark side of the Force cake, and one was like an R2D2 cake. And they were like the most beautiful pieces of Star Wars art that also happened to be very delicious. And I just remember us all sitting around and like salivating, and then like children digging into cake.
That's pretty awesome.
So on our recap show, we have a segment called Neeku Nirvana. And every week we would pick out a moment from the episode that brought us true nirvana, that truly enlightened us from Neeku. So we never thought we would actually have the chance to ask you this. But what is your Neeku Nirvana? What is the moment of joy that Neeku has brought you? Just unadulterated joy from the series. One that you can
Oh
pick out.
man. I mean, I feel like it's a cop out to say Bibo, but I think it's gotta be when he first meets Bibo, and then maybe that sequence where Bibo is wreaking havoc and he's trying to like hide him and keep him out of sight inside in the fireball
Yeah.
headquarters.
Yeah, I think that
Love
moment
it.
of like, he is joy, he's purest rapture is just like the greatest
Oh
line.
man. Oh man, I wish I remembered this stuff as well as you guys do. I'm gonna have to go back on a Resistance tour.
I mean, honestly, I just watched the episode like 2 nights ago, so that was just me writing it down. Brad knows more than I do.
You guys are amazing.
My Neeku Nirvana is Kaz and Neeku. Once Nina leaves the Colossus, they're having this conversation about being best friends, and Kaz asks Neeku who his other best friends are, since he tells Kaz he's his bestest best friend. And Neeku replies, there is a chair that I'm quite fond of. Buggles is quite interesting. Oh, and Bibo. I loved Bibo.
I miss Bibo, yeah.
Yeah, that's my Neeku Nirvana. It was just such a pure moment, so.
Oh, man.
Okay, next question. Very, very important in our pop culture moment. Who is cuter, Bibo or Baby Yoda?
Oh, man.
The great debate of 2020.
This is obviously, look, my heart wants to say one thing and my mind is saying another, and while my heart is saying Bibo, I think Baby Yoda does have, I mean, it's very it's very tough because Baby Yoda is really too much for me sometimes.
I just got an art print that has like Baby Yoda on it, and I'm like, so sweet, so precious.
So good. So good.
Would you like to see Neeku in a Star Wars movie? Like, I just want him in the background somewhere. I just want him walking and like holding his thing close or whatever. He kind of like sticks his arms out like a chicken and like walks, and I want to see him somewhere.
Well, as you know, I sent J.J. Abrams a 4-page letter suggesting that Neeku would look very good in the background of of an episode 9 scene.
And you were right.
I cannot think of anything that would be more exciting to me than to see or hear Neeku. And mostly I just want to be in the makeup chair. I just want to be in the makeup chair for 7 hours to become Neeku. So I'm secreting that into the galaxy.
Yeah, and I want somebody to do a cosplay of Neeku. I don't know if anybody's done like a full cosplay, because I just want to see him in real life. Like somebody make that mask, that makeup. I want to see it. Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, me too. Please forward when you find it.
Will do. So we have a hypothetical. We're kind of living in this 2020. It's a time. It's certainly a time. And we're all having to social distance and quarantine from one another. And, you know, like many of us in the real world, I mean, humans are social animals. We love to be around others. And Neeku also loves the company of other people. So do you have an idea of what his favorite socially distant activity would be? How would he be passing his time right now?
I think Neeku would need to find like some way around it. So I think he would want to play like a very long, distant game of toss. Just throw a ball back and forth. But you wouldn't be able to stop. It would be like a days long game of catch with Neeku.
Yeah. It could be with a Gorg. They could be throwing a Gorg back and forth.
Exactly.
And then he eats it at the
catch.
end. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yes,
exactly
Gorg
right.
catch. Wow, that is canon now. I'm officially
Winner gets to eat the Gorg. I mean,
And of course.
Seems like a great prize.
Oh yeah, it's hot potato, hot Gorg, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So our final question, which we ask everybody, and we get such different answers all the time, and it's wonderful. What does Star Wars mean to you at the end of the day?
Oh, that's too hard, and you know it. Yeah, I'm gonna cheat off my previous answer and cheat off of, and really it's Megan's answer, but friendship, relying on your friends and trusting in friendship above all else.
I love that. What it's all about. That's very Neeku of you to say. So I think
Well,
that's a great way.
I was primed, yeah.
I think that's the great way to end the interview. So Josh, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. It was seriously such a pleasure to have you. What do you have coming up in the works that we want to be on the lookout for, and where can our listeners find you online?
I sadly am still living in the time of the first trilogy, so I have no social,
Smart.
which I apologize for, and but
No.
shout out to all of you guys.
Take us with you, please.
Yeah. I have nothing to compare it to, but so far so good. I'm let's see, there's not a ton going on because of 2020, but a new video game on Xbox and other things, I think, called Grounded has my voice on it, and I hear it's cool. I haven't gotten to play it yet, but check out Grounded. It's like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids video game, kind of, and I think it's pretty cool. So check that out. And thank you guys for having me and for doing this. We all need a little resistance right now, so thank you guys.
Absolutely. Well, thank you once again, Josh. We really appreciate your time. And last thing we'll say is, may the Force be with you.
And with you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to our interview with Josh Brener, the voice of Neeku Vozo on Star Wars Resistance. It was such a pleasure to be able to talk to him for about an hour and to get to chat all things Neeku, who's our favorite character, of course, and all things Star Wars Resistance. And thank you so much for joining us on this Remembering Resistance Day. It has been such fun to share interviews and our panel that we posted earlier in the day, and just to get to engage with this awesome and fantastic community around Resistance, a show that we all love very dearly.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this show is so special, holds such a special place in each of our hearts. And we hope to make this an annual thing for Star Wars Resistance fans. Every year on this day, we will remember Resistance. So Sarah, that's it for us today on Remembering Resistance. We will be posting more blogs throughout the day, so make sure to go check those out. Listen to some of our previous interviews. Those previous interviews include Bob Bergen, who played Bibo, as well as Christopher Sean, Sumali Montano, Tasia Valenza. There are so many interviews with cast members to check out over on our podcast feed.
Again, whether you're listening to this on August 29th or afterwards, the hashtag is Remembering Resistance, and we'd love to see what you have to bring to this awesome community, whether it be your thoughts, your art, your cosplay, your fanfiction, your blogs, your memories, whatever you got. We would love to see it and hype you up and just share our love for the show.
So Sarah, without further ado, where can our listeners find you online, and what do you got going on?
You can find me at SEH221 on Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, and Letterboxd, and at Sarah Vlogs Thoughts on YouTube, where I like to talk about all things books. You can also find me on Bibo's Book Report and the Friends of the Force main show here at Friends of the Force.
As for me, you can find me personally at Brad Whipple, and you can find the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. Consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Friends of the Force. Thank you to our current patrons, Amy, Anna, Cheryl, Deborah, Donnie, Elegy, Marie Claire, Michael, Neil, Rachel, Sarah, and T. If you want a way to support the show, Patreon is the best way to do it, and we have a lot of cool things coming out on Patreon very, very soon. Many announcements to come, so consider supporting the show and helping us to continue growing. And that is all for us here on Remembering Resistance Day. We are so happy that you all joined us today to celebrate this special occasion. And with that being said, Sarah, until next time, we are ones with the Force. We are friends of the Force, and may the Force be with you always.
Stay hydrated. Bye.
Friends of the Force is a proud member of the Star Wars Escape Pods network. To learn more about our sister shows, find us on Twitter at WeAreEscapePods. The Star Wars Escape Pods network, promoting positivity in fandom.